Good morning, everybody. It is February 1st, 2024. It is a Thursday, 9:24 a.m. Central Standard Time. February 1st, we're just talking about. We don't know how to spell February. I always just mention that. You got to look up how to spell February every time February comes around because that silent PH in the middle gets you. It really does. It is 9:25 a.m. Central Standard Time. I can't unsee your resemblance to the court. Dude, shut the fuck up. Shut up, man. Absolutely no way are we starting on this note. I do not look like the quartering. Okay? I'm sorry. I can't sit here and accept this. Okay? I can't sit here and accept this. Okay? Unbelievable. You know, I've done pretty well in my life. I don't think the quartering has. I'll just say that. Maybe in a different world. Maybe in a different life. Maybe in a different life. Maybe in a different life. I'm not gonna lie. Now that you guys see it, now that you guys say it, I look at it. Maybe in a different life where a lot of different things have happened. Okay, where a lot of things have gone wrong. All right. We are a week away from the NBA trade deadline. Let's get back on track here. We are a week away from the NBA trade deadline, and there's just not a lot going on. If I'm just being honest with you, not a lot of rumors. Now, sometimes a quiet. It's all quiet on the Western Front means that some shit's about to pop off. Sometimes it just means nothing's happening. There's no reason to look into it. Sometimes it just means not shit's happening. This guy right here, Evan Siddery. He always posts some nice little updates. So let's see what Woj had to say on SportsCenter this morning because we're not tuning in or watching. I'll tell you that. Lakers trade deadline update. Have talked with the Hawks about DeJounte Murray, but Atlanta wants Austin Reeves in the deal. Talks have not moved along because of Atlanta's insistence on Reeves. Los Angeles and Atlanta are expected to talk again before the trade deadline passes. Bruce Brown again mentioned as a top target for Los Angeles. Woj says Lakers players and fans should temper their expectations for this trade deadline. The players? Direct message to the players? Hey, LeBron, chill out, man. You guys aren't making a trade. That's probably what LeBron wants to hear. Any other updates from this guy? The Warriors have no interest in trading Klay Thompson or Draymond Green. Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul are the more likely candidates. Yeah, there's just no way they trade one of those two. There's no way. The Kings covet Kyle Kuzma. That does make some sense. In my trade deadline prediction video, you guys go watch if you haven't watched. Hold on, I need to sneeze. No. All right, sneeze accomplished. I did want to send Kyle Kuzma to Sacramento. Well, if the Warriors trade Chris Paul, it wouldn't be. It would just be for salary. He has a massive salary, so it would help them get somebody with a larger salary. He's not like someone you send out for real life value. But there's definitely a pathway for the Kings to grab Kyle Kuzma, depending on his price. FYI, several teams can't sign buyout players. Those teams can sign buyout guys, but they have to have made under $12 million. So Denver can sign buyout guys, but their contracts have to be under $12 million this year, or 12 point something. Yeah, no Kyle Lowry. You're 100% right. Or Gordon Hayward if he did end up getting bought out. The Rockets have quietly repositioned their stance heading into the trade deadline with the intention of making big win-now moves. Houston is now willing to relinquish one of their blue-chip prospects in exchange for a star-level player. Man, there's kind of enough rumblings. Kind of the Mikal Bridges rumblings are kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. Because that trade package kind of makes sense. It would suck. Like, explaining that you're just trading for your picks back from the Rockets so you can be ass, that's like a tough sell to your fans. That's a tough sell to your fans, saying, hey, guys, we just traded the best player on our team currently for our own picks back, so now we can be ass for the next couple years. I've never heard of Evan Siddery. I'm not saying this guy's name right, and I don't mean to do it intentionally. I try to keep my Twitter followers curated and not have so much muck. Is he worth following? I don't know. I just followed him right now for the first time. We'll see. Looks like he just tweets updates and stuff. So I don't see why not. I bet the Nets fans wish they traded back for the picks that went to Boston, though. That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Because the Nets, well, my trade deadline prediction video, I have the Nets getting busy. I've got the Nets getting busy. Let's look at some of my predictions. Let's look at some of my trade deadline predictions. I want to hear chats. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can check these out live every morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on playback.tv/slightlybiased, where you can participate in the chat. Let's look at some of my trades, and I want to hear y'all's honest feedback. Okay, how about this one? Saddiq Bey to the Celtics. I mean, is this one even worth talking about? Realistic mid? Yeah, that's what I was going for. I was going for realistic mid, to be completely fair. What about this one? Why is it not opening? Oh, 3 of them have opened. Feels like some other team could give more seconds. I don't know, actually. I mean, Saddiq Bey's been fucking trash, and he's a free agent in the offseason, so. And the Hawks wouldn't be getting a single contract back. O'Neal's the smallest power forward ever. He is. The Cavs are interested. I looked at this from, well, Donovan Mitchell and Royce O'Neal are like really good friends. Sometimes it's as stupid as that. Sometimes it is as stupid as that. I know it sounds dumb, but sometimes it is that dumb. But then I thought about it later. I was like, oh, Dean Wade for a couple of seconds. Dean Wade in a couple of seconds actually probably makes more sense. More realistic mid. Hey, the realistic mid trades happen. How about more realistic mid? Someone in the comment section said I was selling Dennis Smith Jr. short. I think this is pretty good. It makes a lot of sense for the Bucks, who got another loss last night, this time on the road to Portland Trailblazers. Let's get into AJ Green trades. Yes, sir. Yeah, the second round pick. I mean, if you're the Nets front office, you signed Dennis Smith Jr. for a minimum in the offseason, and now you're flipping him for like what could be a pretty good second. AJ Green is white. No, not that AJ Green. This is a different AJ Green. More realistic mid? How about this realistic mid? This one was one of my favorite ones I cooked up. This one feels like it's got a chance. This one feels like it's got a real chance. Doug McBuckets. 13 million, huh? Wow. Who gave Doug that? Who was the team that paid Doug? Was that Was it the Spurs? Or did the Spurs trade for him? Like the 76ers want a better player to slot into that shooting role, but Doug's good though. Was it Indiana or San Antonio who paid him? I want to find out because it intrigues me. Doug McDermott's been around a long time, man. 9 years in the league. That actually makes me, I'm not going to lie to you, that makes me feel a little tiny bit old in a weird way because I vividly remember, I mean, I'm talking like this was 30 years ago, but I vividly remember him at Creighton and playing college. It's just weird that he's been in the league for 10 years. Like, it's weird that was 10 years ago. Okay, yeah. Oh, it was a sign and trade. A sign and trade with the Spurs. So the Spurs did pay him. But I kind of like this trade. I think it makes some sense. Get some shooting at a relatively cheap price. I mean, shooting's not something that's always going to be cheap. Sixers add a second. You think it takes 3 seconds? I really doubt it. I think this would be more than enough. But this is why we do this. Oh, Spurs? You think it takes a less, like, only 1 second? That could be possible, too. Covington's been hurt and out the rotation. KJ Martin's not in their future plans, even though he had a pretty good game a couple nights ago when they barely lost to the Warriors. What about, I'm looking through these. What about this one? I mean, the rumors make sense. Why didn't you do this in the vid? My video was like actual predictions of what I thought would happen. That trade's good, but I just 4-team trades are really hard, even though I think I did have one in here. Is Bridges' value that low? Yeah, I think so. Think about all of the off the court stuff, the fact that, you know, the domestic violence thing. I don't even think I could say out loud. I don't know what YouTube's monetization thing is like. Even though I'm not monetizable yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Getting close. And there's also the thing hanging over all of this is the fact that any team that trades for Miles Bridges will not have his bird rights. What was the Reddit thing with HBO you said in your video? What's the company that Matt HBO owns? Rocket Mortgage? Was that him or that's the dude in the Cavs owner. What the fuck is his name? Dan Gilbert. Whatever other mortgage company Matt HBO owns. Oh, Mavs is Quicken Loans. United Wholesale Mortgage. Oh, okay. Well, either way, there's a subreddit about that company where people aren't very big fans of working there, and the working conditions aren't very good. But anyways, unrelated. I think this is, I mean, maybe the Hornets say, no, that's not good enough. We want to keep him. But then it's like, are they going to bring him back? I don't know. There's been enough rumblings and rumors about this that it does make some sense to me. What about this one right here? 4 seconds for Gafford. Kind of sounds like the Rockets are big game hunting. So this might be a little bit below their price range. They might be out shopping for bigger things. Do Wizards value seconds? Well, 4 seconds gets you at the table, I think. Even though 2 of them are, I should have said this in the video, but like the picks can go a bunch of different directions. Like don't get too caught up in which picks are, especially seconds, because I'm looking at this now. I'm looking at this now. Golden State Warriors and OKC pick in this upcoming draft probably aren't going to be very good seconds, but yeah, last year was the year of the seconds. How many? Sadiq Bey was traded for what was it? 6 seconds? 5? Gary Payton for 5. Okay, that's what it was. Gary Payton for 5 seconds. Oh, didn't the Hawks give up like a ton of seconds for Sadiq Bey? Jay Crowder for 5 seconds. Last year was the year of the seconds. ESPN Trade Machine fell off. Fanspo is way better. Well, Fanspo, you can put the trades. Are the picks. That's a game changer. The picks is a game changer for these. Now, what would be next is baseball has something like this. And the formula for it seems very flawed, but it's an interesting little thing where there's like a website who determines the value of the players, like considering their age and their projections and their performance and their contract, and they get like a score, and you can like make trades to see if like the value lines up. Of course, that takes a lot of like context out of trades and stuff like that, so it's not a perfect machine. I know that there's like football ones too. What the hell's going on? I feel like that's dangerous letting machine kind of determine a player's real life value. Well, it's not. I mean, it's more just like fans to fuck around and try to figure out what like a realistic trade for a player would be. That would maybe be the next step in the process. I mean, I guarantee you that the teams have that. The teams have formulas and calculations and stuff. Jesus, that sounded crazy. Got me out of my mouth right there. That was a wild time to end that word. But I guarantee you teams have formulas and analytics that tell them how much a player's worth and stuff like that. Value shifts a lot in the NBA, it feels like, though. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be like a perfect thing, but it would be fun for fans just to be like, all right, this machine says I need to add 2 more seconds. You get what I'm saying? I like this trade right here. This is one of my favorite ones. I ran this by a Thunder friend of mine, and he said, hell yeah. I ran this by a Thunder friend of mine, and he said, hell yeah. No, none of these OKC players play. Davis Bertans, Poku, Trey Mann, those guys, I don't even know what their future in the league is. Trey Mann, maybe. Trey Mann's interesting enough that a team like the Hornets could be like, all right, we'll see what you got. Poku, 1 foot out the league. Maybe 8 toes out the league. Hornets would push for a protected first, and then the Thunder would say no. I would like this a lot for the Thunder. They need like another forward. What up, TGK? They need like another forward, especially one who's like a grown up. That game last night, that Nuggets Thunder game was hilarious because it's one of those like both teams feel good about themselves after the game. The Nuggets were without Jokic. They only lost by like 5. Really close game. Competitive. Like I think the Nuggets leave that game saying, all right, that was a nice performance by us. Aaron Gordon. God damn, he's good, man. Fuck. What a smart team. What a smart team the Nuggets are. Aaron Gordon, man, he's just unbelievable. Unbelievably good. Kuz will be Mavs Gordon. No, I don't think there's another Aaron Gordon. I think he's like in that stratosphere. Anytime I watch him, I honestly God think he's like a top 30 player in the league. He's just so good. He just does so many good things. Let's see, what other trades did I have? Alec Burks to the Knicks. This one felt really good leaving my hand. You know, making these trades in Fanspo, you know, it's like shooting and it leaves your hand and you're like, "Oh, that's good. That's good." This one felt like that. Like I'm in the corner, right? Beautiful pass right on the seams. Oh, that's good. So this is a lot. I don't really think. I know it kind of seems like this. I said this in my video that at first for Alec Burks seems like a lot, but you can look at it. The two things to consider here: you're getting off the Fournier contract, which you know maybe there's an argument to be made that it might just make sense for them to keep the Fournier contract going into the summer because then that's $18 million they can put in another trade. However, at a certain point. Like, could you just get Evan Fournier out of there, man? Like, this guy has just been rotting on the bench for like 2 years. Fournier isn't expiring? Isn't it a player option? Wait. What kind of option does Fournier have? Oh, it's a team option. Oh, okay. Well, keep in mind here, too. A 2024 Knicks first. Like, a first seems like a lot, again, for Burks. Here's the thing, though. It's really not. For the simple reason being, you know, teams aren't dumbasses. They don't see, like, first-round pick. Whoa. Is there, like, a buyout or any, like, guaranteed money in that option? But, the 2024 Knicks first is going to be in the 20s in a weak draft. How valuable is that really? You know, how valuable is that really? What can we get for Grant Williams, or is his value tank that much? They're not trading Grant. I guarantee you. There's no way. Simply no way. I can't see a world in which Grant Williams gets traded. The Mavericks just don't have, like, either they'd be selling too low on guys or even their sell high guys are just too valuable to them right now. Miles Bridges and PJ Washington. I can tell you right now, the Magic are not doing this. Nick was telling me after the show that he's almost convinced the PJ Washington trade is happening, or he's talked himself into a PJ Washington trade happening. I don't see. I have no. Not that I don't see it. I have no clue what his trade value is. I have no idea. Pablo, the first apron on the map. Somebody commented that because I was thinking about that whenever I did my Wiggins trade, because it is possible for them to. Or at least it was in the trade machine for this to happen, but they would just go over the tax by $6 million. I think they're like around $3 million below the tax right now. How much above the tax is the first apron? Because yes, if you don't start the season above the first apron, you can't go into it. I believe is the rule. Yeah, first apron is $172 million. which is 7 over the luxury tax. 7 million over the luxury tax. The Mavericks are currently, I want to say it's like 3 million below it. 3.6 million below it. All right, so let's do some basic math here. They would still be below the apron here. This didn't feel right making it. Like, it felt like contractually this wouldn't actually be able to work. It worked in the machine. I'm not like good enough with the cap. I'm not good enough with the cap to navigate how this would work. That trade works. The Mavericks would just have to be willing to spend, like, pay the tax for this team. They'd go over the luxury tax, which, again, they're currently under. And I feel like most teams, this isn't just like a Maverick-specific thing. Pretty much every team, if you're under the luxury tax, you don't really want to go over. For a team that you don't really think has a chance. But it is new owners. Maybe they want to show the fan base, hey, we're willing to spend. We don't give a fuck. You know, we don't care. Mavericks get Wiggins, Gafford, Avdia in a first. Oh, this is a pick swap. Why do this to yourself? The Wizards are getting Timmy, Jaden Hardy in 4 seconds. That's not enough for Avdia and Gafford. It's not gross. Maybe a world where the 76ers really want shooting and then they want Tim Hardaway, so then they send something a little bit more valuable to the Wizards that makes this look more interesting for them. I do think the Warriors would say yes to this. The Mavericks obviously would say yes to this. I guess the Sixers would say yes to this. Wizards are, this is like that one funny consent meme that goes around every now and then. It's like, didn't you forget to ask somebody? I consent. Didn't you forget to ask somebody? The Wizards are sitting there. This is why 4-team trades are so hard to pull off. Is somebody is inevitably getting fucked. Like, some team is almost always going to be is getting the worst of it. All right, so someone said earlier they didn't like this Kleber trade. And I'm fine with that. I want to hear some discussions about it because part of me feels like something like this could happen. I made it and I'm like, this feels like something the Heat would do. That they see something in Maxey. He kind of fits what they do. And also from a roster construction team building perspective, it also fits what they do where they like having contracts to play with. It was one of the things that they said about the Terry Rozier, that they wanted Terry Rozier, but then there was also like, well, Terry Rozier also was like $25 million expiring this summer. They want to trade that. I don't think the Mavs say yes. Honestly, I agree with you. I think the Mavericks would be the team to say no to this. I think the Mavs would be the team that says no. Mavs get smaller at the power forward, which seems opposite of what you do. Well, in my make-believe La La Land fairy tale world, they also got Wiggins, which does that change anything? Like, this is a full trade deadline prediction. The Mavericks trade for Wiggins. Does this trade make more sense then? No, Wiggins could play 4. Wiggins could play the 4. your size off the bench would be a serious problem. But then you could bring Derrick Jones Jr. off the bench. You could have a starting 5 when healthy of Luka, Kyrie, Exum, Wiggins, Derek Lively. Or if you wanted to, you could go Derrick Jones Jr. instead of Exum and just be like really big. But then off the bench, you'd only have like one significantly sized forward. And then you would have a bunch of like Caleb Martin. Well, Caleb Martin can maybe play a little bit bigger. But how many of those guys do we fucking need realistically? No, Thomas Bryant stinks. Thomas Bryant stinks. He had to be involved for contracts. This isn't like we got Thomas Bryant. Mavericks get Wiggins. This is a lot. Okay, the Warriors are getting 5 players for 2. That's probably not going to happen. CP3 may be too old for the Spurs timeline. Oh, he'd be getting bought out. I'd have to admit. Huh. I'm interested by this Wiggins stuff because part of me feels like for the Warriors, it's just you might as well just pray that he figures it out instead of just trading him for nothing. You know? Instead of trading him for nothing, it'd be better for your team if you just kind of prayed. But that contract stinks. The contract stinks. And you're so far over the tax that it's expensive. I don't think the Warriors will panic. Warriors could get active in free agency with Clay coming off their books if they trade Wiggins for an expiring. Could they, though? How? I mean, I'm trying to think who else is paid besides Steph and Draymond long term. And Wiggins, obviously. Looney, but he's not making that much. What about Crater to Boston? Crater? What other trades do we have? Brogdon to the Sixers? Would the Rockets be open to moving Tari Eason? I can't imagine. Please whitelist us? No thanks. Oh, Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes got a DNP last night, by the way. Isaiah Stewart and Kevin Knox for Grant Williams, Seth Curry in 2 seconds. I'm unmoved by this trade. I'm unmoved by it. Javon Carter. Oh, the Celtics getting Javon Carter. That would be kind of interesting. I thought about like a Javon Carter reunion with the Bucks. Can that happen? Javon Carter has not been good this year. Did Javon Carter get traded back to Milwaukee since he just left there? What are the rules with that? Best fit for Chris Paul in the buyout. It's interesting because some of the best teams, like going back to Phoenix for Chris Paul, would be cool, but they can't do that. Lakers, Sixers can do it, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, honestly, the Mavs could use it. Honestly, yeah. Spurs, he'd probably want to go somewhere that has at least somewhat of a chance to win, I'd have to imagine. This trade makes sense. What other ones do we have here? Well, let's just talk about this one. No, not this one. This one. Am I kind of crazy? Am I kind of crazy for thinking this makes some sense? Where are the picks? Are picks involved in this? I'm not entirely sure. What would the Bulls do with Wiseman? Oh, nothing. He just had to be in it. I had Ivy instead. I don't think the Pistons would do. Or yeah, the Pistons shouldn't do that. Ivy ain't going nowhere for less than a pick. Levine ain't going nowhere for less than a pick. Eh. PJ Toppin, Kuz, Jeremy Grant, Wiggins. No, Zach LaVine puts up good stats. He is still good, but he's hurt a lot, and that contract is massive. He's not a positive asset. He'd be traded by now. He would have been traded by now. Yeah, it kind of sounds like the Bulls won't do it. But then, like, this was rumored a tiny bit, and I thought about it more, and I was like, huh. Like, the Bulls would want pieces back in the trade. I think that keeps them competitive. That's what they want to do. They've said it. They've signaled it. They don't want to tear it down and rebuild. They want to remain whatever the fuck they are. A cool 8 seed. I was thinking about this today. I was like, man, you know what? If the Bulls didn't make some all-in effort to win, and like now their future looks kind of weird and bleak, and they have these weird, disgusting contracts hanging over their head, and like, are you bringing back DeMar DeRozan? If it weren't for that, they'd be like a pretty fun story of like, wow, Kobe White, look at his incredible development. Look at Ayo Dosunmu has been really good this year. Like, they'd be that fun little story, and that's kind of the case. I mean, a lot of people are talking about Kobe White, but I just know if the Mavs never got Kyrie, they would have already traded for LaVine. Yeah, probably. T-Wolves could use LaVine. Zach LaVine for Cat. 40 million, man. Holy shit. Damn, that's a lot. Like, when you look at it and think about it, 40 million a year? Damn. $40 million a season. Jesus. If we miss the playoffs, we trade Kyrie, man. If the Mavs miss the playoffs, everything's on the table. Okay. Seriously though. What about this? Wait, Wizards, Kings, Raptors. Wait, what's this 3-team trade? Oh. Yeah, this one makes sense to me. Monte Morris, he missed most of the season. He's been back like a couple weeks ago. Week or two ago. Came back. PJ Tucker to the Mavs. Holy shit. No. Why? Damn, I think the Pistons getting active. Ben, what are you doing? Ben? No. You don't need to be doing that. He ain't gonna listen. What about this clusterfuck? I had to figure out where the hell Bruce Brown was going. What about the Kings? I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. I kind of really like it. Am I talking? Oh my. That's hilarious. Why the Raptors getting Denny? I like them getting Denny. I like them getting Denny. Sort of an OG replacement in a way. Younger, friendlier contract, can still defend, could play well next to whatever else you got going on. Would the Kings do business with Toronto after not trading the past couple? Yeah, I think so. That wasn't like the Raptors' fault or anything like that. It was just Pascal didn't want to go there or didn't want to commit to signing there. I mean, it is what it is. Too many picks, you think? Do the Kings give up a first? That was the one I was wondering. Do the Kings give up a first in this for Bruce Brown? They are getting DeLon Wright. DeLon Wright just gets slept on. The Raptors, I think, do this in a heartbeat. Chris Duarte stinks, but Denny Avdia is really nice for them. Mavs legend DeLon Wright, except not really. Then you have Harrison Barnes, Davion Mitchell to the Wizards. You know, whatever. Maybe you can flip Harrison Barnes down the road. Which team do you think is getting fucked this deadline, meaning making panic moves and regretting later? Lakers are a clear-cut, obvious favorite for that. The Mavs scare me. I'm not going to lie to you. The Mavericks do scare me in that regard. I think even the Hawks. No, the Pelicans just usually don't do much. The Hawks could make some misguided effort to try and like get better or something. I could see the Hawks going a completely different direction than they should. All right, so I'm happy to hear you guys like this one. I'm happy to hear you guys like this one. I did too. I was cooking this up. I was like, damn, this kind of makes sense. That's true. The Mavericks' capacity for stupid moves is capped. That's very true. Would you package Omax in a Denny deal? Yeah, I would. But then the thing is, though, is like, as I said last night on Locked On, I just don't think Omax doesn't move the needle in a trade for anyone, I don't think. So it's like weird to include him. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think too many teams are like Omax or nothing. How about this one? Oh, wait, we already talked about that one. Wait. What about this? What about this DeJounte trade? I think this one sucks. This is my least favorite one I had. But I wanted to get DeJounte to the Nets because it actually made so much sense to me. And I also wanted the Lakers to get somebody. Because they're going to do something. The Lakers will do something. Hawks say no? I think so too. What if the Hawks got like Jalen Hood-Schifino? But I don't think that they would do that either. You don't think they say no? I think they do only because I think Bogdan by himself probably gets you a first. I think Bogdan by himself probably gets you a first. So then you're saying, okay, I'm basically trading Bogdan for a first, and then I'm only getting one first for DeJounte pretty much. So the Lakers wouldn't have a tradable first pick until like 2032 after this. Yeah, there's a problem right there. Is this like a stupid inclusion of a pick for the Lakers? Part of me wants to say no. Like, I don't know how desperate that situation is. You have LeBron's 39. Like, I don't know the desperation in there. Because if they basically say, we're going to let the season play out, they're basically telling LeBron, fuck you. We don't care. Retire. But if there's like a real desperation of like, okay, we want to do right by LeBron. Like, we don't want to piss him off. He's the last person you want to piss off. Okay, I mean, you're getting two really, really good role guys. Why do you think the Lakers are so bad this year after looking like a top 10 team after the trade deadline last year? Bunch of one-dimensional guys. Just way too many one-dimensional guys. Nets and Hawks say yes. The Nets say yes for sure. I think the Magic say yes. I do think the Hawks would want more. Would the Nets send 2 firsts in this? So you're basically trading away you're basically trading away Dorian. Dinwiddie's expiring in 2 firsts for Dinwiddie or for DeJounte. 2 firsts, Dorian, Dinwiddie. Unbelievable, man. My little alert bell went off. I thought that there was a Twitter notification. No, Grammarly. What could you possibly have sent me? Missing comma? That was my top writing issue last week. Because Grammarly doesn't realize I don't fucking do the Oxford comma. I don't do the Oxford comma. I actually think there's a setting you can change in Grammarly. Why am I even talking about this? Okay. But why the Lakers getting Dodo and Bogey for a first and D'Lo? Yeah, they probably have to give up more, I think. Most certain. But there's always these trades that happen and things that happen where teams get very fortunate and kind of tag along and get something for. Like, remember, like the Cavs gave up pretty much nothing. Wasn't it like a late first or something for Jared Allen? After it was kind of established that Jared Allen was good. Like, he wasn't an all-star yet, obviously, but Jared Allen was good with the Nets. People who watch basketball and are smart, like, hey, Jared Allen's really good. Like, he's a good player. The Cavs just kind of swooped in and got him for next to nothing. Yeah, Steve Nash did start to that was a catastrophe. The whole DeAndre Jordan. They paid DeAndre Jordan $10 million. Another example, though. Sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. And that was DeAndre Jordan. Are these all the trades? Did I miss any? Then, of course, you have this barn burner here. Why not, man? Honestly, why not? Which trade did you take out of the video? Took out a Pelicans getting a Tyus Jones trade because it just didn't make sense in the end. Reworked a lot of trades. I had Bruce Brown going to like 4 different destinations. The Hawks are not tanking. Well, okay, but I do think Tyus is definitely being moved. I just couldn't find one. Maybe Tyus does not go for as much as you think. The market for him, I feel like, might like honestly, if I was in the market for a point guard, I think I'd want Brogdon more than Tyus Jones. I think I'd want Brogdon more. On top of that, Brogdon's under contract next year too, so you don't have to worry about that. Why not, man? Come on. Vic's going to be way too good. Vic takes a sophomore leap next year, then what? You're going to win 40 games. Be a mid-lottery team. Not just fuck the future by trading first. Okay, here's what I said in the video though. That should be remembered. In this trade, 5 firsts sounds like a lot. 3 of them are Atlanta's picks. So 3 of them are Atlanta's owns. So you're giving Atlanta back their picks from the DeJounte trade. One of them's a future Dallas first. So you're only trading one of your own picks. You're only trading one of your own picks in this trade. You could look at it like that. Those Atlanta picks might be very valuable, though. Yeah. So you're giving them back to Atlanta. Think about this like you traded away DeJounte Murray and one of your own picks and Keldon Johnson for Trae Young. When did San Antonio get our pick? You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. The Mavs is a swap, yes. The 2030 Mavs one is a swap. Isn't the Mavs pick a swap? Why don't the Mavs have it in their Fanspo trade? Because they can't trade it. I mean, they could. They could do like what the Suns have done, where it's like, all right, we'll trade you our swap. So now the Spurs get to pick. I don't know. It's really fucking complicated, but it was in the Grant Williams deal. The Spurs took Reggie Bullock's contract to make the Grant Williams sign and trade work. And in the process, got that pick swap. Do the same trade, but with Luka. This is unique, though, in that the Hawks are trading with the Spurs. The Spurs are able to trade their picks back. Hey, man, if this is possible, San Antonio, get to it. Get to it. Did you see what Stephen A. said on the show yesterday? No. Get to it. Oh, about the Luka. I think I did see it, actually. How many points per possession does Trae and Wemby average in a pick and roll? 1 trillion. You're going to be too good. Vic's going to be too good to just, we're going to build through the lotto. And if you do this trade, you still have so many first-round picks to play with. Yeah, this does feel like it would be an all-season trade. I don't know, though. What if they trade DeJounte? Because that situation is fucked. I don't know if you guys have seen on Twitter, but there's been some like stuff going around of like family members on Twitter and that DeJounte requested a trade at some point. They look lifeless. Well, okay. Trae Young says, you know what? Ever since we made the Eastern Conference Finals, which is now going on 3 years ago, we've cycled through coaches. Part of that's my fault. We've cycled through coaches. We have traded our future away for DeJounte Murray, and now we are trying desperately to trade him for more value. We don't have much. I want out. See that print of DeJounte answering a fan's message on Twitter. Yeah, this situation is fucked. Luka can say the same to Mark Cuban, do you know? Mavs are better. Guys, I don't know if you know the shot. The Hawks are 7 games below 500. Seven games below. Can you imagine? Now, the funny thing is they're in a playing spot currently. And by funny, I mean sad. How are the Kings still loitering in the top 5? Can you explain that to me? The Kings are just loitering. Get them out. Get them out. All right, so those are all my trades. All right, so I didn't think any of them were too out there. I don't think too many of them are too out there. Let's just take a quick little look at the games last night. Mavericks get blown out by the Timberwolves. You know, whatever. Bulls beat the Hornets. Another great game by Kobe White. Steve Clifford after the game said, yeah, our team's trying. We just fucking suck. Pretty much. Not a direct quote, but close enough. Like, yeah, we're trying out there. We just stink. Cavaliers get another win. They're just cruising, man. Cruising. From Adam Schefter. From Dallas to DC, the Commanders are hiring defensive coordinator Dan Quinn as their head coach. Thank God. Get him out of here. Get him out. Which players would you be most okay with the Mavs trading? Rashawn Holmes. Rashawn Holmes is truthfully the only guy where I'm like, yeah, he makes sense in any trade. Joel Embiid is no longer the favorite to win the MVP after his odds dropped from plus 200 to plus 2,500. Wow. How many more games does he have to miss? Jokic is minus 125. Really? Shea at plus 300. Luka at plus 500. There's a real shot. I like this. This might be one of Luka's best chances. If the Mavs go on like a run to close out the season, need a 4 seed. I think they could get to 5. I think 5 could do it. Because he's already had some signature MVP moments. The 50-15 game on Christmas night. Obviously the 73-point game. Like he's already had some like incredible moments. They just got to start doing the winning. They could easily get to 5th. Easily. 4th is out of the question, I think. And not only because not just because I mean, holy shit, I didn't realize how far behind they were from 4th, actually. Yeah, it is 100% out of the question. 6.5 games. The top 4 is obviously separated themselves. No home court yet again. Why are you liking your own messages? Okay, I was wondering if you had a fucking bot farm or something going on anytime you send a message in here. There's just some people here where it's like, if you bet on this, what are you doing? Embiid I could see being like 2,500. I'll throw 20 on there that he gets to 65 games. Tatum at plus 4,000. Anthony Edwards, I think you're wasting your money. De'Aaron Fox, you're definitely wasting your fucking money. Devin Booker. De'Aaron Fox having the same odds as Devin Booker and Kawhi Leonard is a joke. is a joke. Oh, not the Sabonis. Speaking of Sabonis. Bad loss for the Kings last night. Although I feel like sometimes this happens when you go up against a team that's just lost so many games in a row that it's almost unimaginable that they lose another one. And that's exactly what happened last night. The Heat on a 7-game losing streak. De'Aaron Fox has been terrible lately. Well, not terrible, but definitely not to his standards. Something's not right. Something's not right there. Just looks lethargic. Guess what Fox is shooting from 3? I know that it's trended downwards in a serious way lately. 38%. He's at 38. And that sounds really high, but there was like he started the season so hot from 3. He's 32. He was 32% in January. In the month of January, De'Aaron Fox, 22 points per game, which is, I think, 6 below his season average on 53% true shooting. So just a rough month. A rough month for Mr. De'Aaron Fox. I'm doing a power rankings video today, by the way. Suns beat the Nets and KD's return to Brooklyn. They did do a video tribute, which was nice. It feels like the Nets are 20 games below 500. Like them being 9 games below 500. Even though that's still terrible. Thunder Nuggets, I briefly talked about this one earlier. This was a fun game. Chet had 5 blocks, I think. 5 blocks for Chet. 3 in like the first 3 minutes of the game. But he had a nice game. Shea just kind of had a slow one and then pulled away at the end. Some free throws down the stretch, of course. Mr. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Granted, some of them were intentional fouls. Man, Aaron Gordon was so good in this game. I can't even begin to describe how good he was. 16 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 blocks, a steal. Man. He's so good. Unbelievable. Would you give up 3 firsts for AG? For the Mavs? Yeah, I think you could talk yourself into Aaron Gordon being the missing piece. We talk about the Mavs game just a little. What the hell is there to talk about? I mean, what? Seriously. The only reason this game was somewhat close at halftime is because the Timberwolves offense is disgustingly bad. I don't care if they scored 121. Yeah, Omex had some nice moments. I always find it funny after games like this. People are like, "Oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. This is why we want to trade his ass." Tim's not a reliable self-creator. He needs to feed off of other like playmakers. He's a floor spacer, volume shooter who pass him the ball and he'll shoot. It's just games like these. I can't take negatives away. It's hard for me to because all of these guys are playing 3 to 4 roles ahead of where they should be playing. Josh Green was good. These games just suck as fans because there's not a single thing you can take away from it. What are you doing? He looks so cute. Clippers beat the Wizards. Pelicans beat the Rockets. Jalen Green, though. Hey, starting to string together some nice performances. Fortunately, the Rockets are losing a bunch of games, but Jalen Green It's almost like kind of a weird trade-off. If you're a Rockets fan, would you like some real signs of life from Jalen Green? Like, holy shit, maybe he can be good. Maybe he can be really good. For a few losses here and there, I think that's kind of worth it. If Jalen Green and Cam Whitmore look really good. Magic beat the Spurs, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks for the future Rookie of the Year. Is there's no way Chet's still the favorite, right? Let's see, FanDuel NBA odds. There's no way, right? Okay, yeah, Vic is comfortably the favorite now. What did I tell you guys weeks ago when Victor Wembanyama was a plus? I was like, he's winning that shit. Nice to see him finally get recognition. Not enough people talked about him, especially in the draft process. He really went under the radar. Victor Wembanyama did. And the Portland Trailblazers defeat the Milwaukee Bucks in Damian Lillard's emotional return to Portland. Milwaukee, losers of 2 straight. I do think you could say some of this was pretty crazy shot making by the Blazers, which it was. The Blazers had pissed down their pants at the very tail end of this game. Some very dumbass turnovers that it felt like the Bucks, all right, the Bucks are going to win this game. Anthony Simons, game winner. Dame wasn't really that good in this game. The Trailblazers did a good job defensively, I thought. Honestly, as good of a job as you could hope. That play at the end, Brogdon, that defensive play right there on Dame. They were clearly trying to get Dame a look from 3. And Brogdon that just looked like an instinctual thing. That didn't look like a game plan or anything. That was just instincts by Brogdon. What do you think of the Mavs lane Grant from Portland? That would be cool, but it would probably be too expensive if I had to guess. If the Mavs win 10 in a row, how will I feel? Pretty good.